Did you know that poor communication can cost companies $62.4 million per year on average? Shocking, right? Even worse, a survey by Interact Studio found that 69% of managers are uncomfortable communicating with their employees. Communication mistakes aren't just small blunders, they can be catastrophic for leadership and team success. Welcome to the biggest communication mistakes leaders make. Avoid these. In this video, we'll uncover the silent killers of leadership. From unspoken expectations to the curse of knowledge, these mistakes can sabotage your best efforts. We'll explore the jargon jungle and how it can alienate your team. Plus, we'll reveal the dangers of the echo chamber effect and how to avoid it. We'll dive into body language blunders and what your non-verbal cues are really saying. Finally, we'll turn feedback fiascos into constructive conversations. Each chapter is packed with unique insights, strategies, and real-world examples. Ready to transform your communication skills and become a more effective leader? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Silent Killers. The Dangers of Unspoken Expectations. Have you ever felt like everyone should just know what to do? Many leaders fall into this trap. They assume their team understands their expectations without saying a word. This is a silent killer in leadership. Did you know that 69% of managers are uncomfortable communicating with their employees? It's a staggering statistic from a study by Interact Studio. When expectations aren't clear, frustration grows. People can't read minds. It's crucial to spell things out. One strategy is to set SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Clear goals help everyone understand what's expected. Another approach is regular check-ins. Don't wait for the annual review. Weekly or bi-weekly meetings can keep everyone on the same page. During these check-ins, ask open-ended questions. What are your top priorities this week? Can open up dialogue. A great book on this topic is Radical Candor by Kim Scott. She emphasizes the importance of clear and honest communication. Scott says, "It's not mean, it's clear." Clear communication builds trust and reduces confusion. Here's an interesting fact. Companies with effective communication practices enjoy a 47% higher total return to shareholders over 5 years. That's from a Watson Wyatt study. So, clear communication isn't just nice to have. It's a financial imperative. Another tip is to use visual aids. Charts, graphs, and infographics can make complex information more digestible. Tools like Trello or Asana can also help track progress and keep everyone informed. In summary, don't let unspoken expectations sabotage your team. Use SMART goals, regular check-ins, and clear visuals. Remember, clarity is kindness. It helps your team succeed and drives better results. Chapter 2. The Curse of Knowledge, Overcoming Expert Blindness. Have you ever explained something and seen blank stares in return? You might be experiencing the curse of knowledge. This happens when you know something so well that you forget what it's like to be a beginner. It's a common mistake for leaders. The curse of knowledge can create a communication gap. It's like speaking a different language. A study by the University of Chicago found that experts often overestimate what others know. This can lead to confusion and frustration. One way to overcome this is by using the Feynman technique. Named after physicist Richard Feynman, this method involves explaining a concept as if you're teaching it to a child. If you can do that, you truly understand it. Another strategy is to ask for feedback. After explaining something, ask, "Does that make sense?" Or, "Do you have any questions?" This invites dialogue and helps ensure understanding. Albert Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Keep this in mind when communicating with your team. It's also helpful to use analogies and stories. These can make abstract ideas more relatable. For example, explaining a complex project as a puzzle, where each piece has a place, can make it easier to grasp. Interestingly, a Stanford study found that stories are up to 22 times more memorable than facts alone. So, weave stories into your explanations to enhance understanding and retention. Finally, practice empathy. Put yourself in your team's shoes. Remember what it was like to learn something new. This perspective can help you communicate more effectively. Chapter 3. Lost in Translation. Navigating the Jargon Jungle. Ever been in a meeting where you didn't understand half the terms being used? That's jargon at work. It's a common mistake for leaders. Jargon can confuse and alienate your team. A study by Deloitte found that over 60% of employees feel overwhelmed by jargon. One way to navigate this jungle is to simplify your language. Instead of saying, synergize, try, work together. Instead of, optimize, use, improve. Simple words are powerful. They make your message clear and accessible. Another strategy is to explain terms when you use them. For instance, if you say, ROI, AD, which stands for return on investment. This ensures everyone is on the same page. It's also helpful to encourage questions. Say, if you don't understand something, please ask. This creates a safe space for clarification. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that teams with a strong questioning culture are more innovative. Talk Like TED, by Carmen Gallo, offers great advice on clear communication. Gallo says, speak in a way that's easy for people to understand. Use the language of the people you are speaking to. Using visuals can also cut through the jargon. Diagrams, charts, and videos can explain complex ideas simply. Tools like Canva or PowerPoint are great for this. Here's a fun fact. The Plain Language Association reports that clear communication can increase efficiency by 25%. So, cutting jargon isn't just kind, it's productive. Lastly, practice active listening. Pay attention to feedback. If people look confused, back up and simplify. It's not about dumbing down your message. It's about making it accessible. In summary, ditch the jargon. Use simple language, explain terms, encourage questions, and use visuals. Clear communication is key to effective leadership. Chapter 4. Echo Chamber Effect. The pitfall of surrounding yourself with yes people. Have you ever noticed everyone around you always agrees? You might be in an echo chamber. It's a pitfall for leaders. When everyone says yes, you miss out on critical feedback. A Gallup study shows that diverse teams are 35% more likely to outperform non-diverse ones. One strategy to avoid this is to encourage dissent. Invite different viewpoints. Say, I want to hear your honest opinion. This fosters a culture of openness. It's important to show that you value and respect differing perspectives. Another approach is to build a diverse team. Diversity isn't just about race or gender. It includes different backgrounds, experiences, and thinking styles. Diverse teams bring fresh ideas and challenge groupthink. Think Again, by Adam Grant, highlights the value of rethinking. Grant says, the best leaders don't just invite dissent, they actively seek it out. This means creating an environment where it's safe to disagree. Here's an interesting fact. Companies with inclusive cultures are 1.7 times more likely to be innovation leaders in their market, according to a study by Deloitte. Inclusion drives innovation. Also, rotate roles and responsibilities. This can bring new perspectives to the table. When people step into different roles, they see things differently. This can break the echo chamber effect. Encouraging anonymous feedback is another powerful tool. Use surveys or suggestion boxes. Sometimes, people are more honest when they can speak anonymously. Lastly, lead by example. Show that you value diverse opinions. When someone disagrees, listen actively. Thank them for their input. This sets the tone for the whole team. Chapter 5. Body Language Blunders. What your nonverbal cues are really saying. Have you ever noticed how much people say without speaking? Body language is a powerful communication tool. Yet, many leaders overlook it. Research from UCLA shows that 93% of communication effectiveness is determined by nonverbal cues. That's huge. One key strategy is to be aware of your posture. Standing tall with shoulders back exudes confidence. Slouching, on the other hand, can make you seem disinterested or tired. Amy Cuddy, in her book, Presence, talks about the power of body language. She says, your body language shapes who you are. Power poses can boost your confidence and improve your leadership presence. Another important aspect is eye contact. It shows you're engaged and trustworthy. But avoid staring too intensely, which can be intimidating. Balance is key. A Harvard study found that maintaining eye contact for 60–70% of the conversation time is ideal for effective communication. Gestures also play a significant role. Open gestures, like spreading your hands apart, signal openness and honesty. Closed gestures, like crossing your arms, can make you appear defensive or closed off. Be mindful of these signals. Facial expressions are crucial too. A smile can go a long way in making you approachable. Conversely, frowning or furrowing your brow can send negative signals. A study by the University of Kansas found that smiling reduces stress and makes you appear more competent. Mirroring is another effective technique. This involves subtly mimicking the body language of the person you're speaking with. It creates a sense of connection and understanding. But be careful not to overdo it, as it can come off as mocking. Here's an interesting fact. According to a study by Dr. Albert Mehrabian, 55% of communication is body language, 38% is tone of voice, and only 7% is actual words. So, your non-verbal cues carry a lot of weight. Finally, practice makes perfect. Record yourself during presentations and meetings. Review the footage to identify areas for improvement. Small adjustments in your body language can make a big difference. In summary, don't ignore your body language. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, use open gestures, smile, and practice mirroring. These strategies can enhance your communication and leadership effectiveness. Chapter 6. Feedback fiascos. Turning criticism into constructive conversations. Have you ever dreaded giving or receiving feedback? It's a common challenge for leaders. Yet, effective feedback is crucial for growth. A Gallup poll found that employees who receive regular feedback are 3.6 times more likely to be motivated to do outstanding work. One strategy is to use the SBI model: situation, behavior, impact. Describe the specific situation, the behavior observed, and the impact it had. This makes feedback clear and objective. For example, in yesterday's meeting, situation, you interrupted several times, behavior, which disrupted the flow of the discussion, impact. Another approach is to balance positive and negative feedback. The feedback sandwich method, positive, negative, positive, can be effective. However, be genuine with your praise. People can sense insincerity. Radical Candor by Kim Scott offers great advice on feedback. Scott says, care personally, challenge directly. This means showing you care about the person while being direct and honest. It's a delicate balance but crucial for effective feedback. Did you know? A study by Zenger-Folkman found that 92% of respondents agreed that negative feedback, if delivered appropriately, is effective at improving performance. So, don't shy away from it. Just deliver it thoughtfully. Another tip is to be timely. Don't wait for the annual review. Address issues as they arise. Immediate feedback is more impactful and relevant. It also shows that you're engaged and attentive. Encourage a two-way conversation. Ask, how do you think you did? Or, what could be improved? This invites self-reflection and makes the feedback process collaborative. Here's an interesting fact. According to a study by PwC, nearly 60% of employees would like feedback on a daily or weekly basis. Regular feedback keeps everyone on track and aligned with goals. Lastly, end on a positive note. Highlight strengths and express confidence in their ability to improve. This leaves the person feeling motivated rather than demoralized.